Can you imagine a mystery so deep, so dark, that it remains unsolved even after a century and a half? Welcome to the chilling tale of Jack the Ripper. In the annals of crime, few names evoke as much terror and fascination as that of Jack the Ripper. He was not the first serial killer, nor was he the most prolific, but the Ripper's legacy of fear has endured longer than any other. He is a spectre that has haunted the world for over 140 years, his true identity forever shrouded in the foggy streets of Victorian London. Jack the Ripper is a moniker well known across the globe, a name synonymous with an unsolved mystery and a reign of terror that gripped the Whitechapel district of London in the late 1800s. His gruesome spree of violence left a city in fear and a world in shock. Yet, despite the infamy of his deeds, the man behind the name remains an enigma. The shadowy figure of Jack the Ripper emerged from the grimy alleyways of Whitechapel, claiming the lives of at least 5 women, all in the space of a few chilling months in the year 1888. His victims were all women of the night, their lives brutally cut short in the most horrific manner. The ferocity of the attacks and the surgical precision with which they were carried out suggested not just a deranged mind, but also someone with knowledge of human anatomy. And then, as abruptly as they had begun, the killing stopped. The Ripper had vanished, leaving behind only a trail of blood and a series of unsolved murders that continue to baffle investigators and historians to this day. The true identity of Jack the Ripper is one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in the annals of crime. Numerous theories have been proposed, countless suspects have been named, but the real Jack the Ripper remains elusive. As we delve into the darkness of this tale, let's start from the very beginning. It all began on a cold, dark night on August 31st, 1888. The streets of the Whitechapel district in London were shrouded in an eerie silence, a silence that was soon to be shattered. That night marked the beginning of a reign of terror that would grip the city for months to come. The first known victim was Mary Ann Nichols, a woman who had fallen on hard times. She was found in the early hours of the morning, her life brutally cut short. The nature of her death was horrific, her body mutilated in a way that sent shockwaves through the community. The gruesome details of her murder were enough to chill the bones of even the most hardened Londoner. The Whitechapel district, already a place of hardship and struggle, was now a place of fear. The streets were no longer just cold and dark, they were dangerous. Each shadow held a potential threat, each corner a possible encounter with death. As news of the murder spread, it was met with a mixture of terror and morbid fascination. The press seized upon the story, their headlines screaming of the horrific murder in Whitechapel. The papers were filled with lurid details and wild speculations. The murder of Mary Ann Nichols was not just a tragedy, it was a spectacle. The media frenzy around the murder served to amplify the fear and uncertainty that gripped the community. But it also served another purpose. It drew attention to the plight of women like Mary Ann Nichols, women who were living on the edge, their lives marked by poverty and desperation. The murder of Mary Ann Nichols marked the beginning of a series of gruesome murders that would come to be known as the Whitechapel murders. Each one more horrific than the last, each one adding to the growing sense of dread. The streets of Whitechapel had become a hunting ground, and an unknown predator was on the loose. Little did they know this was only the beginning of a series of gruesome murders. The shadow of fear loomed over Whitechapel as another life was brutally taken. In the early morning hours of September 8, 1888, Annie Chapman became the second victim of the unidentified killer who would go on to be known as Jack the Ripper. Her death was met with a surge in public terror, as it was clear that the first murder was not an isolated incident. The brutality of Chapman's demise, the violence inflicted upon her, was an unnerving escalation from the previous crime. The streets of Whitechapel were awash with fear and uncertainty, yet they would not remain quiet for long. Before the month was out, 2 more lives would be claimed. On a fateful late September night, Elizabeth Stride and Catherine Eddowes were mercilessly killed within hours of each other. Their murders, the most gruesome yet, sent shockwaves through the community and beyond. The press and public alike were whipped into a frenzy of speculation and dread. The final victim, Mary Jane Kelly, met an end so horrific on November 9th that it was clear the killer was becoming more audacious with each passing crime. The severity of her injuries, the sheer brutality of her death, was a chilling testament to the escalating violence of this remorseless murderer. With each new victim, the assailant's audaciousness grew, and the public's terror escalated. The unknown killer was not just a murderer, he was a phantom, a spectre that haunted the streets of Whitechapel, striking fear into the hearts of its inhabitants. The fear was palpable, the atmosphere electric with dread. Panic spread like wildfire, with every shadow posing a potential threat, every stranger a possible monster. And so, the reign of terror continued, each murder more brutal, each crime scene more gruesome than the last. The murders were a grim demonstration of the killer's growing confidence and the public's growing helplessness. Yet, amid the fear and brutality, one thing became increasingly clear. With each murder, the mystery deepened, and the legend of Jack the Ripper was born. In the midst of chaos, the hunt for the elusive killer was on. The streets of Whitechapel were filled with fear and uncertainty, and Scotland Yard was under immense pressure to catch the perpetrator. The detectives of the time, despite lacking modern investigative tools such as DNA analysis and fingerprint identification, were not short of dedication or resolve. They interviewed thousands of people, followed up on numerous leads, and even enlisted the help of local vigilante groups. The investigation was a massive undertaking, involving door-to-door inquiries, the examination of public houses, and even the inspection of slaughterhouses in the vicinity. The investigation took an intriguing turn when letters began to appear, allegedly penned by the killer himself. One of the most infamous of these was the From Hell letter, accompanied by a small box containing half a human kidney. The macabre package was sent to George Lusk, leader of the Whitechapel Vigilance Committee, adding another chilling layer to the unfolding drama. However, the authenticity of these letters has been heavily debated among historians, with some suggesting they were hoaxes, perhaps written by journalists looking to fan the flames of the story. The identity of Jack the Ripper has spurred numerous theories over the decades. Some point the finger at local butchers or surgeons, given the precision of the mutilations. Others propose the killer was a member of the upper class, possibly even royalty, exploiting their status to evade capture. And then there are the more outlandish theories, suggesting the involvement of secret societies or even the supernatural. The multitude of theories serves as a testament to the enigma that is Jack the Ripper. Despite the relentless pursuit by Scotland Yard and the tireless work of countless investigators since, no consensus has been reached about the true identity of the Ripper. Despite their best efforts, the identity of the killer remained a mystery. And so, Jack the Ripper, the shadow in the foggy alleys of Whitechapel, continues to elude us, his identity hidden behind a veil of time, speculation, and uncertainty. More than a century has passed, yet the shadow of Jack the Ripper continues to intrigue us. The allure of the unknown has always held a powerful grip on the human psyche, and the case of Jack the Ripper is no exception. Despite the passage of over 100 years, the identity of this infamous murderer remains shrouded in mystery, a puzzle that countless investigators, both professional and amateur, have tried to solve. Today, the echo of his crime still resonates, perpetuating a macabre fascination that transcends generations. The enduring enigma of Jack the Ripper has given rise to an entire industry of speculation and examination. Scores of books have been written, each offering its own theory on the identity and motivations of the killer. Films and television series have dramatized his heinous acts, adding their own interpretations and embellishments to the already chilling narrative. This ceaseless retelling and examination of the Ripper's story has kept the legend alive, transforming it into a cultural phenomenon that continues to captivate audiences worldwide. Moreover, the field of Ripperology, a term coined by the ongoing research and discussion dedicated to the case, is a testament to its enduring intrigue. Amateur sleuths and professional criminologists alike delve into the labyrinth of clues, letters, and testimonies, each hoping to unearth that elusive piece of evidence that will finally unmask the man behind the myth. Yet perhaps it is the absence of a definitive answer that fuels our fascination. The uncertainty allows for endless conjecture and debate, a tantalizing prospect for those drawn to unsolved mysteries. Theories range from plausible to outlandish, each adding another layer to the enigma. The tale of Jack the Ripper serves as a chilling reminder of humanity's dark side, a testament to the capacity for unspeakable evil that lies within us. It's a story that continues to haunt us, a spectral presence in the annals of criminal history. The tale of Jack the Ripper, a chilling reminder of humanity's dark side, remains one of history's greatest unsolved mysteries.